Yellowstone Park just shut down from shocking event. Yellowstone volcano is a dormant monster waiting to erupt and violently tear America apart, just like Godzilla, scientist Michio Kaku has warned. Yellowstone Park, known for its breathtaking landscapes, mesmerizing geysers, and diverse wildlife, has just experienced an unprecedented event that has forced its closure. It's not something you'd expect to hear about such a renowned and well-loved destination. The supervolcano is one of the best monitored volcanoes in the world, being monitored constantly in real time by the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory. Currently, it has a reading of green, indicating no threat is imminent. But the shocking revelation by Michio Kaku says something very different, which led to the shutdown of the Yellowstone Park. In this video, we'll delve into the shocking incident that led to Yellowstone's sudden shutdown, explore the implications of this event, and attempt to shed some light on what this means for the future of this extraordinary natural wonder. But before we jump into the details, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our thrilling updates from the world's most captivating destinations. So, what exactly happened at Yellowstone National Park? Stick around as we unravel this mystery and uncover the astonishing truth behind its sudden closure. Get ready for an adventure like no other. It all started a few days ago when seismologists detected a series of intense seismic activities deep beneath the surface of Yellowstone. These unusual tremors raised concerns among experts as the park sits atop a massive volcanic hotspot. Yellowstone National Park is actually located within the caldera of a supervolcano, an enormous volcanic system that has experienced 3 super eruptions in the past. The last eruption occurred over 600,000 years ago, covering vast areas of North America with volcanic ash. Due to its volcanic nature, Yellowstone is continuously monitored by scientists who keep a close eye on any changes in the park's geothermal activity. So when this recent seismic activity intensified rapidly, it set off alarm bells among the experts. American theoretical physicist Michio Kaku warned a Yellowstone eruption would devastate the US and change the face of the planet. Yellowstone had its last major eruption some 64,000 years ago and is not expected to erupt anytime soon. However, many experts still worry about the supervolcano's potential for destruction. Yellowstone volcano has the potential to be one of the most powerful volcanoes in the world, which is why experts continuously monitor it. We're talking about a sleeping Godzilla underneath Yellowstone, that if it erupts in a maximum eruption called Category 8, it can literally tear the guts out of the United States of America. Instead of having 50 states of the Union, we would have 30 states of the Union. Now that's Category 8. This report looked at Category 7, which is much more likely. Once every 1,000 years, rather once every 1 million years. That means in every century, there is a 10% chance that somewhere on the planet Earth, there could be a super volcanic Category 7 eruption. That's the danger. Before diving into the details of why really the Yellowstone Park is being shut down and evacuated, let's go through what Yellowstone really is. Lying beneath the tranquil settings of Yellowstone National Park in the US lies an enormous magma chamber. It's responsible for the geysers and hot springs that define the area, but for scientists at NASA, it's also one of the greatest natural threats to human civilization as we know it, a potential supervolcano. According to the theoretical physicist and professor at the City College of New York, scientists know of 3 major Yellowstone eruptions in the past. These Yellowstone blasts occurred respectively around 0.6 million, 1.3 million, and 2.1 million years ago. Each of these super eruptions was large enough to spew monstrous amounts of volcanic material and ash across the US. Dr. Kaku said, "We have the evidence of a gigantic eruption that is sufficient to tear the guts out of the USA. So this report has to be taken seriously. But hey, don't sell the store. Don't panic. We don't expect it to happen in our lifetime." The good news is, there are no current indicators Yellowstone is ready to blow up anytime soon, despite the dire volcano report published in 2017. However, the scientists said eventually the law of averages catches up to you, and volcanologists have to constantly monitor Yellowstone for signs of activity. Should Yellowstone pop with a Category 7 eruption, Dirk Kaku said the blast will be significantly bigger than the devastating eruption of Unsettling in 1980. The incredible eruption in Washington state, US, was the single biggest volcanic eruption on the US mainland since 1915. Dr. Kaku explained, Category 7 will be many times the size of Mount Seismic, enough to cause widespread destruction across a state, but not enough to destroy the USA. But still, it's something that we have to take very seriously now. Unlike a meteor from outer space, where you get no warning whatsoever, we get warnings. If you see movies like Pompeii, you know that there are days, in fact, weeks of eruptions building up, rumbling inside, underneath the pocket of lava. So there would be enough time, several weeks, to begin evacuation if and when such an unlikely event were to take place. Up to 1,000 miles of the US would be covered in volcanic ash, and the climate of the planet would be altered as debris is plowed into the atmosphere. Mr. Kaku told Tian in 2011, when it blows, it could destroy the United States as we know it. We're talking about immediate damage to the surrounding area. Up to 100 miles will see total devastation, basically wiping out everything in its way. However, the real damage goes out to 500 miles if you include volcanic ash, poisonous gases. And that's a ring which goes around 1,000 miles across. It would wipe out the United States as we know it. It could happen tomorrow, or it could happen 100,000 years from now. It's black magic trying to predict when it will blow. But we do know one thing: one day, it will blow. Mr. Kaku went on to add, all you can do is run. One NASA employee believes he has found a unique way to stop a major eruption: by feeding cold water into Yellowstone's magma chambers. NASA engineer Brian Wilcox hopes to stave off the threat of a super eruption by cooling down the magma in the chambers inside the volcano. Around 60 to 70% of the heat generated by Yellowstone seeps into the atmosphere, but the remainder builds up inside. If enough builds up, it can trigger an eruption. By drilling 10 kilometers into Yellowstone, the NASA employee believes it would be possible to pump high-pressure water, which will allow the cool liquid to absorb some of the heat before it is pumped out again. Mr. Wilcox told journalist Brian Walsh in the latter's new book, End Times, the plan could cost $3.05. The proposal would have the added benefit of using the steam from the water and magma combo to create carbon-free geothermal electricity at a much cheaper rate than any alternative energy currently available on the market. Mr. Wilcox told with Walsh, the thing that makes Yellowstone a force of nature is that it stores up heat for hundreds of thousands of years before it all goes kablooey all at once. It would be good if we drained away that heat before it could do a lot of damage. Others, however, are not so convinced about the feasibility of Mr. Wilcox's idea. US scientist Jake Lowenstern told with Walsh, it all seems a bit fanciful. Yellowstone volcano is monitored around the clock by the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory Branch of the United States Geological Survey, USGS. The USGS is a scientific agency of the U.S. government tasked with monitoring and studying many of the U.S. geological features and natural hazards. As a precautionary measure, park authorities decided to evacuate all visitors and employees from the park, ensuring their safety. The shutdown was necessary to assess the situation, gather more data, and determine the potential risks involved. Unexpected turn of events has sparked widespread speculation and concern among the public. People are wondering whether the seismic activity could be an indication of an imminent eruption, potentially triggering a catastrophic event. However, it's important to note that scientists are cautiously optimistic and believe that the likelihood of a super eruption is still very low. Yellowstone experiences smaller volcanic eruptions and geothermal activity quite frequently, which contributes to its unique ecosystem. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on what is going on and around our planet. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching the video.